أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dua for this day of the sacred month of Ramadan. Allahumma la tu'akhidhni fihi bil atharat. Allah, do not hold me for the deviations in this month. وَأَقِلْنِي فِيهِ مِنَ الْخَطَايَا وَالْهَفَوَاتِ, and lessen my mistakes and my errors. وَلَا تَجْعَلْنِي فِيهِ غَرَضًا لِلْبَلَايَا وَالْآفَاتِ, and do not make me a target of afflictions and problems. بِعِزَّتِكَ يَا عِزَّ الْمُسْلِمِينَ, by your honor or the honor of the Muslims. So on this day we ask Allah that He doesn't test us with all these difficult trials, keep us away, protected from all the natural disasters and everything that we cannot handle. Now in the last ayah also of Surat Al-Baqarah, we say to the Almighty Allah, La ma la taqata lana bih, that Allah, you don't try us with anything which is not in our capacity. We are not strong to hold and be tested with all those big trials and tests. And Allah also, He doesn't test anyone more than his ability and his capacity. La yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wus'aha, that Allah, He doesn't burden anyone more than what the capacity is. And we ask Allah to not burden us. Now this is one of those du'as that is accepted, that was by the mediation of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for that reason we are said to recite this ayah as much as we can, at least once every day, the last ayah of Surat Al-Baqarah. Now, it is the birthday of Imam Mujtaba alayhi salam, the Kareem of the Ahlul Bayt and the Mazloom of the Ahlul Bayt as well. All of them are Mazloom. Imam Mujtaba's Mazloomiyat is of a different nature. Now, the tawassul that we can have with Imam Mujtaba, one of the ways of tawassul is by the salat or the prayers that are for Imam. It's a 4-rakat prayer, 2 and 2. Niyat will be qurbatan ilallah, and after Surah Al-Hamd you recite Surah Al-Ikhlas 25 times. So in all the 4 rakat, which are in sets of 2, 1 Hamd and 25 times Surah Al-Ikhlas, and then the second rakat also same, and you finish the prayer, and then the second set of namaz with the 25 Ikhlas in each rakat. And once you've done the prayer, there's a small dua. Allahumma inni ataqarrabu ilayka bijudika wa karamik wa ataqarrabu ilayka bi Muhammadin abdika wa rasulik, and another 2-3 lines of this dua. That is one of the ways how you can have a tawassul with the Kareem of the Ahlul Bayt, Imam Mujtaba alayhi salatu wassalam. Returning to our talk, and that is the last ayah of Surah Al-Hamd. It was mentioned Surah Al-Hamd is also known as Fatihatul Kitab, the opening of the book. Another name of this surah is Sab'un min al-Mathani, and because it has these 7 ayat, including the Bismillah, and these 7 ayat that were revealed to Rasulullah in the form of Surah Al-Hamd were confronting those 7 poems which were hung around the Kaaba, which were known as the Mu'allaqat Sab'a, because it was the era of linguistics, and the Arabs, they were proud of their language, and the best of the poems of the Arabs, they were written and they were hung around the Kaaba. People, they used to come and perform the tawaf and also recite those qasidas, recite those poems that their ancestors had written, and they were an artwork, a piece of art, a beautiful work, the best of works that was of that time. So 7 poems hung around the Holy Kaaba. Now in that time, that is the era of linguistics, all of a sudden Rasulullah, he comes up by the Kaaba and recites these 7 ayats of Surat Al-Hamd, which can be no match to those 7 of those best of poetries and poems that were written by the Arabs. And then comes up and challenges and says, bring something like these 7 ayats, something like the 1 chapter. If you cannot, then at least 1 ayah. So no one could do anything, no one could bring. And also to abide by that challenge, the best of these poets and the literates of that time, they got together, they took time, they said, we'll meet after a year. And when they come after a year, they could not come up with anything that could resemble the Holy Quran. So Quran, it's a miracle in itself, in the ayat, in how the ayat have been put, in the meaning of the ayat, in how it was revealed, in the words itself, in the letters itself, the building of the nazm of the Quran. In every angle you see Quran is a miracle. Now the last ayah of this beautiful surah, it says, Surat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. The path of those whom you have blessed, أنعمت عليهم, not the path of those who have incurred your wrath, nor those who are astray. So 3 things have been mentioned here. أنعمت عليهم, so the path that is mentioned over here, 1, أنعمت عليهم, that is the blessed path on you. The second one, غير المغضوب عليهم, not the path of those who have incurred your ghadab, your wrath, ولا الضالين, nor those who are astray. So from these 3 paths we have to pick one. The best one is that أنعمت عليهم. Now this ayah introduces the right path, which is the blessed path by the Almighty Allah, and that is also explained in Surah An-Nisa. Says, أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين. That is the path from among the people, from among the prophets, the path of those who are from among the prophets, those who are the truthful, those who are the shuhada, and those who are the good. So the path of the prophets, the path of the truthful, the path of the martyrs, and the path of the salihin, the noble, the good, is the path which is blessed by Allah. So giving importance to the path of these exalted, being on it, reminding ourselves, acquainting ourselves, this will protect us from all dangers and from all deviations. After this, we request the Almighty Allah to not place us on the path of those on whom is His wrath, nor the path of those who are astray. So we ask, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم. Allah, guide us to the right path. And then that path, أنعمت عليهم, that you have blessed, not the path of those upon whom is your wrath, nor the path of those who are astray. So a beautiful dua we have to. Now over here again for the اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, says for the mu'mineen who are already guided and are on the right path, because that hadith says sirat says that Aliyun huwa siratul mustaqim, that Ali is the right path. So the believers, the Shias, the followers of the Ahlul Bayt, they are with Amir al-Mu'mineen, so they are on the right path. So what does ihdina sirat al-mustaqim mean then? Again, when inquired Imam Ma'asum, he replies as such that Ehdina means adimna. Adimna means keep me firm on that path, because you are already on the path of Amirul Mu'mineen, because you are a Shia, you are a follower of the Ahlul Bayt. So you are on the Sirat. So when we say Ehdina means adimna, means confine me, means confirm me, means bind me, means bond me, means keep me on that path forever. That is Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Now, again, when it says that غَيْرَ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ, says Quran has mentioned Bani Israel were blessed, but due to their ungratefulness, their obstinacy, they incurred a wrath. So because of that obstinacy, they incurred that azab of Allah Ta'ala. Otherwise, they were a blessed nation. Allah says in Quran that we exalted you, but you were ungrateful. Because you were ungrateful, you have incurred that wrath. So the Holy Quran has divided people into three categories. The first category are the guided people, the blessed ones, and those who are steadfast. The second one are those who have incurred the wrath, and the third one are the dhalleen, the astray, the lost. So an'amta alayhim is the blessing of guidance, as all other blessings apart from guidance, kuffar and mushrikeen also had them. But an'amta alayhim is that special guidance from Allah that results you in being on the right path. And people like Fir'aun, Abu Lahab, and nations like Ad and Samud, Bani Israel, are introduced as maghdub alayhim, upon those nations upon whom is the wrath of Allah Ta'ala. Now those who are guided to are constantly in danger. We have to always ask the Almighty to protect us and to keep us on the path, and to not distance us, not to keep us astray from those who have incurred His wrath. So, Maghdub alayhim are the Fir'aun, Qarun, Abu Lahab, nations like Ad, Samud, Bani Israel, etc. So Bani Israel, their life, their civilization has been mentioned in Quran. They were at one time the superior in their nation. Says, Ya Bani Israel, uzkuru ni'mati. Allah says, O nation of Israel, remember my blessings. Allati an'amtu alaykum, that I favored upon you. Wa anni faddaltukum ala al-alamin, and I excelled you as the nation. But due to their misconduct, they incurred a wrath of Allah Ta'ala. How was that? وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. They bought the wrath of Allah as a result of disobedience, as a result of trespassing or moving away from the parameters of deen, as a result of distorting the ayat, the verses of the Almighty Allah. And Allah also gave them an abasement, a humiliation, and they became deserving of the wrath of Allah Ta'ala. So what resulted in this Bani Israel being among the maghdub alayhim, upon those on whom was the wrath of Allah? Quran says one of the reasons was yuharrifun al-kalim. They used to distort, change the ayat, the statements. Wa akhzahum al-riba, and for the jury and the interest that they used to charge one another. And then when it came to being with the Prophet and Prophet Musa, they came and they said, فَذْهَبْ أَنْتَ وَرَبُّكَ فَقَاتِلًا. You and your Lord go, Musa, and you go fight. إِنَّا هَاهُنَا قَاعِدُونَ. We are sitting here. So all of these were the reasons for them incurring the wrath of Allah Ta'ala and being enlisted among the maghdub alayhim. Now we said Sirat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim, that Allah keep us firm on the path which is blessed, and the blessed path is the path as said in Quran, مَن يُطِعِ الرَّسُولِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. Whosoever is obedient to the Prophet is among those who is blessed by Allah. That is, أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ. Who are they? Then he says, they are the prophets, they are the truthful, the siddiqeen, the martyrs, and the salihin. So this again, a little bit from the last ayah of this glorious surah. So in being educated, nurtured, man is in need of an exemplary. The prophets, the shuhada, the siddiqeen, the salihin are the best and the most beautiful human examples. Now one of the best of examples is Shaheed Qasim Sulaimani. You can have them. You can see that one human being and who attained that highest rank of shahadat, and all of that was due to the beauty that he carried, and that beauty was the height of obedience to Allah, to Rasulullah, to the mujtahid of his time, on his sincerity and his ikhlas. Says Surat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim. So they become an exemplary for us, that we also follow their path. So there Allah says they are the ones who are an'amta alayhim, you also follow them. That what is bestowed by the Almighty is ni'mah, are the blessings. Wrath and punishment, it's not from Him. He doesn't bestow that. He doesn't provide wrath and azab upon anyone. That wrath, that azab is what we buy and what we attract, and we ask Him to provide to us. Otherwise, He is an'amta alayhim. Says that in this surah, the beauty of the words also, if you see, we say Sirat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim, the path that you have blessed. Okay, and we don't say ghadabta, because ghadab is not from Him, it is from us. That is, we, by the wrong and the misconduct of ours, we attract that ghadab of His, and portraying one's hatred towards those who have incurred wrath and those astray in the community, and not accepting their authority also makes you strong. So here when we say, and when recite in Ziyarat Ashura, Allahumma lan awwala dhalimin, until the end, and that Allah, you banish from your mercy the first of the tyrants who fought you and your deputies. So that is what I say, that I want you to curse the Almighty, to banish them from your rahmah. So that strengthens us. So here also when we say Sirat al-ladhina an'amta alayhim, Allah, keep me firm on the path that you have blessed. غَيْرَ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. It's just like that lan that we have in Ziyarat Ashura, that you have that lan and then quickly you say salam after that. So غَيْرَ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. When you pray that you want not to be from among the Bani Israel, you want not to be among the nations of Ad and Samud, so on and so forth, that gives me honor, that gives me strength, that gives me power, because I don't want to be with them. Now Quran has advised not to accept the authority of those on whom is Allah's wrath and azab. It says, وَلَا تَتَوَلَّوْا قَوْمًا غَضِبَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. So you must not follow a nation on whom is Allah's wrath. Now when we say that we don't want to be or to support the Zionists in whatever way, in whatever manner, may that be in a merchandise, in a trade or a business, the reason for that is this ayah says La tatawallaw, that you do not follow qawman, a nation. Which nation? Ghadiballahu alayhim, that Allah's wrath is upon them. So on who is Allah's wrath? It's everyone who stood against the Prophet, against the teachings of the Prophets. قُلْ يَا أَهْلَ الْكِتَابِ لَا تَغْلُوا فِي دِينِكُمْ. Or say, O Prophet, O people of the book, do not unduly exceed the bounds in your religion. غَيْرَ الْحَقِّ, and in your religion, and do not follow the fancies of a people who have gone astray. ولا تتبعوا أهواء قوم قد ضلوا من قبل وأضلوا كثيرا وضلوا عن سواء السبيل. Now they are those who followed the fancies of the people who went astray in the past and led many astray, and themselves they strayed themselves from the right path. So don't be with them. Those who are those who are misguided, those who are misled, never be with them. So اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم, that is, Allah, keep me on the path you have blessed, غير المغضوب عليهم, not the path of those who have incurred your wrath, nor those who are astray, ولا الضالين. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد